finally, I can resume and we can begin the Season 5 simulation. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. If you don't know what's going on with me, I mean, the previous couple of episodes will tell you a lot, but basically I've been dealing with acoustic shock, and I have I'm guessing a mild case of hyperacusis, which is you become more sensitive to everyday sounds, and I have a lot of tinnitus. I haven't been getting a lot of sleep the last week or so, but I'm finally starting to feel a little bit better. I guess let's knock on wood on that one, as I currently do knock on wood, and I can at least resume the Canadiens GM mode. I'm getting a little bit better now, and in a place where I can actually make videos and focus. And honestly, the previous two recording sessions I tried to do, my own voice was too loud for me in my own head. But I can at least do this now. I have set up all the lines, I guess, correctly. I want to make sure all this is good. These are the lines going into Season 5. So I don't really even remember free agency or the off season because it has been so long for me. This is kind of a refresher even for myself here going into the simulation. But obviously we come back with the same group that we put on the ice in to win the Stanley Cup. We had Pacioretty, Duchesne, Marchand. That remains true on the first line. LeBlanc playing alongside Ming on the second line. That continues. Greening, Eller, Hjalmarsson, then Lievo, White, and Kamayev. We got Ryan White centering that fourth line, but I do have my fourth line center possibility in Colborne, who, by the way, was on the Leafs that eliminated these Canadiens back in Season 2. Well, he just won the Stanley Cup with these Montreal Canadiens in this most recent Season 4 that we just played. And he is an option, but he's in the AHL to start the year. So this is the forward lines as we look now to the defense. Hedman, Subban, Tamernis, Boydchuk, Yemlin, Babchuk, it all stays the same, and we're keeping Alexei Yemlin. We traded him out. I was ready to move on from him. I sent him to Boston. They put him on waivers. I claimed Yemlin off waivers because he was free, and we needed the help on defense at the time, I think because of injuries. And, well, he's a core piece of this team on one of the bottom pairings, so it works out. We still got our trade acquisition from Vancouver in Tamernis, and it's not Victor. I think it is Henrik is his first name. So there's your defense core. Power play looks like this. There's a snapshot of the power play, the 4-man power play, the penalty kill, 3-man PK, 4-on-4, 4-on-4 line 3, extra attackers, goalies, Carey Price and Elliott. We run back the same tandem again. And the shootout. By the way, Carey Price bumping up to a 90. He's a 90 overall. These Stanley Cup playoff runs are doing wonders for Carey Price's confidence. Hopefully that continues into the regular season, and we can get a good trend going here. So yes, we are the defending Stanley Cup champions entering Season 5, and that means that we will have a banner raising to do. Number 26 goes into the rafters. All right, and that's an opening night victory over the Buffalo Sabres as we raise the banner, the second one in the GM mode at the Bell Center. Should we get on with the simulation? Man, it feels so good to be back and finally recording again. Hopefully this can continue. We can get a good trend going. And this is a perfect time to do a season sim because I don't feel like sitting here and shouting into a microphone over gameplay just yet. I need time. And honestly, my ears, my brain have needed time. And unfortunately, when you suffer an acoustic shock like that, the brain and the ears are some of the longest to recover. It can take weeks, it can take months for the ears and the brain to fully recover. So I have to be very careful about noise exposure over the next half year or so. I have to wear earplugs in certain environments. Take care of your ears is basically what I'm saying. This isn't even really anything that's any fault of mine. I'm just a very unfortunate in the wrong place at the wrong time, basically. And but I'm fine now. I hope starting to get a little more back to normal. And look at that, we're rattling off the wins, but we got 2 injuries on D. And the nice thing is we got no games here before we play the Capitals, so we can assess how long those guys are going to be out for before we do play Washington. If I can get an update from the medical staff, which we still have not maxed out the med staff. 3-day injury for Boychuk, so someone got in there. They called up, they put Butler in, who's a healthy scratch, and they put Ellis in there and moved Yemlin up. But did they throw they threw my forward group all over the place. I don't like that. I hate when they do this. So that means Sukai Ming, I gotta change all this. Edit this out, Vince. All right, so that fixes the lines and everything. I don't have enough points available to upgrade the med staff to full, to max it out. But yeah, and there you go. Boychuk is back just like that. We'll be missing Babchuk for a week, and it has not altered any of my changes. Good. It's going to take forever to get through this sim, isn't it? Because of injuries already. I mean, please don't tell me we're going to have one of those seasons where it's just one injury after another. And I got a big situation on my hands. When Babchuk comes back from his injury, I got Ellis and I got hold on one second. Zach Redmond on waivers. I'm going to say no, but if I lose Ellis, I would claim a defenseman. I'm going to probably have to send Ellis on waivers at some point in the season because I got Ellis and I got Chris Butler as my healthy extra D. Now, Ellis got called up from the AHL during those 2 defenseman injuries, and he has to go through waivers. So at some point, I'm going to probably have to send him down through waivers. And just like that, Babchuk's back. Let's play the game without Babchuk because it's probably a playable injury, and just let him get an extra day to heal as we play the Islanders, running into this one 6-2-0, now 6-3-0 following a loss. See a couple more days before Babchuk is completely healthy, so I want to make sure that he doesn't get re-injured. I want to minimize the chances of that. Now playing the Devils at home, and that was a win, a 5-4 win. Boychuk goes down with an injury, so I'm going to guess that Babchuk just gets right in there in his place. So let's sim past the Columbus game, and then we'll check in on Babchuk and see if we can slide him into the lineup and how long Johnny Boychuk will be out for. Over Columbus, 7-3-0. Canadiens team versus a 6-2-1 Columbus Blue Jackets team, and they hand us a loss. And now I'm going to put Babchuk into the lineup instead of this guy Ellis. Okay, Babchuk now in there. Boychuk missing an undetermined amount of time, his second injury already on the season, as we're in the early stages of November in the game. Facing off against the Senators on the road, November 6th, 2017. That's a win, 3-0, and Boychuk will be back shortly off of that injury. I'm not even going to worry about him reappearing in the lineup. I'm going to let him heal fully, continue, and then I'll put Boychuk in the lineup in another game or two. And that is a win. I'm not going to worry about Hamilton. That's a win over the Senators, and no further injuries for the time being. All right, back-to-backs. Toronto Maple Leafs first half of a back-to-back on November 11, and that is a 5-2 win over the Leafs. Now facing the Lightning at home on the second half of the back-to-back games. 3-2 loss. Babchuk now injured. Goodness gracious, this team. We just can't stay healthy on D right now. None of our defensemen can stay healthy. I don't know what it is. I don't know why our D core is so beaten and bruised this season. 10-5-1, entering this home and home with the Bruins, the second game of the home and home against the Boston Bruins. This one on the road. 5-8-1 Boston team struggling still. Tamernis now goes down. Babchuk is a 7-day, 1 week long injury. We have got to get this med staff maxed out. These injuries are kind of crazy, but at least so far, none of them have been long term. We're going to play a game with Tamernis out. Someone's injected into that second D pairing slot that Tamernis is supposed to occupy, and now he's back. Okay. All right, Tamernis back, and just in time to face his former team, the Vancouver Canucks, on the road in Vancouver. And I don't even know what we did. We just played the Coyotes, and I think did we lose? I'm going to check on that in a second. But first, Connor McDavid's there now in Vancouver. We win 6-0. Babchuk is returning shortly. We lost 5-1 to the Coyotes before that. So a nice shutout victory there. I'm assuming Carey Price in the net. Babchuk 3 days out, but we're going to give him time to rest and heal up because we have the extra defensemen that we can afford to sit some of these guys that are healing and coming back off of injuries. Going to give it another day here before we play LA, and I'll put Babchuk back in there. Man, I'm telling you, I'm just toting all these extra defensemen around. I got so many defensemen on my team. I got the 6 starting D, and I got 2 healthy scratch extra defensemen when everybody is healthy. And right now I need both of the healthy extra defensemen. I have a 7th and an 8th D, and now a loss to the Kings. Oh, Marcus Granlund's on waivers. There's multiple players, by the way, on waivers, but I will view Granlund. Is there anything really appealing? You know, Granlund's kind of appealing, I'm going to be honest. But I'm probably going to pass on this. I mean, yeah, he hasn't really done anything at the NHL level. 7 games played here, 8 games played here in the NHL with 2 points, 4 points here. Yeah, just not really doing a lot. I mean, yeah, sure, AHL production, that's great, but I'm going to pass on the player. Who else is down? Curtis Foster on D. Again, if I lost a player to waivers on D, if I have to send a guy down and I lose him, then I would easily claim a defenseman like that. But yeah, I'm going to pass on both of these players for right now. I have my healthy extra defenseman. I have my spare defenseman for right now, for the time being. Anyway, I don't want the losses to start piling up. And there's another one. Now LeBlanc is down. That's a tough one. That's a big one for us to lose LeBlanc. That means we got a defenseman, and they put Butler in there with that. So I don't think I have any healthy extra forwards. I don't. All right, so we're calling up Dale Weiss. We're going to have Dale Weiss just play in the top 6 for right now while we figure out what happens to LeBlanc. Oh boy, he's going to get so much time. Dale Weiss is going to get an audition on a bunch of different areas. Power play, penalty kill, everything. He's going to get an audition. So Dale Weiss is getting big time minutes just for now until we find out how bad the LeBlanc injury is. So at least I could call up a forward. I need to call up a forward that that I'm pretty confident we won't lose on waivers. We lost 2-0. LeBlanc's a 3-day injury. That's what I mean. 3-day injury to LeBlanc. And now we're playing Florida, and we need to get on the right track. We've been losing way too many games. I'm starting to get concerned with all the losses. And there's another one. LeBlanc is back. I cannot waste that opportunity. And now Hjalmarsson went down. So we just suffered another injury. Simon Hjalmarsson went down right as soon as LeBlanc came back. So that just moves Dale Weiss into that missing spot. He's properly playing on the bottom 6 now. So Dale Weiss is going to fill in for that injury void. We just keep losing people to injuries, but at least they're not long-term injuries so far, but we're playing 500 hockey now. This is not good. Man, the injuries are not fair. We get Hjalmarsson back, and then Kamayev goes down right the next game. Oh, brother. I don't know if this team can make the playoffs now. This team should be good enough to make the postseason. It shouldn't even be a concern. And, that's the thing that is concerning about the... whatever. Now Tim Murnis is gone with an injury, too. That's the thing about simulating, is it's not a certainty. It's not a guarantee that this team will make the postseason by simming it out. And we're getting close to halfway through December now, missing so many guys to injury at a time. At least they haven't, like I said, they haven't been long term, and they haven't piled up to where we have like 4, 5, 6 guys out at the same time. But now the injuries are now week-long injuries. Tamernis is a 3-week-long injury. Kamayev is a 7-week-long injury. I mean, that's almost 2 whole months we won't have Kamayev. Rob Flick, well, I'm going to flick away from you, and I'm not going to claim you off waivers. I mean, I'm honestly tempted to take a shot if there is a reasonable player on waivers, a forward specifically, with Kamayev being down. And that's an easy one to avoid. No claim there needed. And I don't need to worry about sending anyone down on waivers, because this team, the way that we keep getting beat up this season, we need all hands on deck just to finish the season. We can't win a game to save our lives. We dropped it to the Avalanche after 3 days off. We're going to go back on the road and play Chicago now, December the 16th. And there's a win over the Hawks. We won 2-1 over Chicago. And if we can't turn it around, I'm going to have to look into changes to the even strength lines, maybe the power play, see what the big problem for the team is. Obviously, staying healthy is a problem in and of itself, but can we fix the power play? Can we fix the penalty kill? Would it make a difference if we fixed either of those things to make our team better? I mean, you look at the team on paper, they should have no problem winning games. Should have no problem scoring on the power play. We should have no problem killing penalties off. But I may look at the stats as a total right as we approach Christmas here. And with a loss to Columbus, that's exactly what I want to do. And the stats and the standings. So let's avoid entire league. How are we doing in the Atlantic? I passed it. In the Atlantic. So we're right there. Buffalo's having another screamer of a season right now with a 44-point lead. Are we in a wild card spot right now? Let's see. So obviously the top 3 teams get in. So Buffalo is in right now. Tampa Bay's in the playoffs if it started today. Ottawa's in. Then you got 34 points. And in the Metro, we would not be in. It would be Pittsburgh and Columbus would have the wild card if it started today. So in the grand scheme of things, compared to the entire league, goals for per game. Is goal scoring a problem? Not really. We're middle of the pack. I think that, what was it, 2.5? 2.58? It could be a little higher. Our goal scoring could be a little better. We're giving up as many as we're scoring, exactly as many as we're scoring. So we're scoring 85 goals and we're giving up 85 goals, which makes us a 500 hockey team, which is what we are, 16, 5, and 2. Power play percentage, it's okay. It's 18%. That's a decent clip on the power play. Penalty kill's got to be the problem area for sure. Yeah, it's a little down. It's a little down. PK needs to be better. So let's try to fix the penalty kill just by itself. So my penalty killing group looks like this. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna split it up. I'm taking LeBlanc off the PK. I need a defensively minded skater to be alongside of Su. First of all, what is Su Kai Ming's defense category? He's a penalty killer for sure. Ryan White, maybe. Lars Eller, maybe. I mean, Eller could make sense. I'm gonna give it to Marchand. Marchand, you're gonna kill penalties with Su Kai Ming. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Whoops. Let's put Marchand with Patch Ready. And then, of course, the problem is Terminus is out with an injury. I may have to separate Hedman and Subban. Let's just try that. All right, coming off of Christmas now. Trying to give the penalty kill just a little shot in the arm as we turn the calendar past Christmas, which, of course, with the return of Terminus into the lineup, that would be a huge shot in the arm for the team as a whole on all situations. And we did beat the Carolina Hurricanes 3-2. I'm going to give Terminus another day off as he heals that injury. But as we make changes, we won 3-2 over the Hurricanes. And we lost 4-0 to the Capitals. So that'll be Terminus back in the lineup. Okay, Terminus back, returning to the lineup. Is it going to be enough? It's getting to that point in the season. I'm concerned. Do we need to try to facilitate some type of a trade? There's a 6-3 win. Maybe we facilitate a possible trade to shore up the blue line, or we look into something like that. The thing is, I kind of have some assets, but not really. Ferentz is a no. Jim O'Brien, that's a no. I don't have a draft pick capital to trade out anymore. I've used all of that. I think I have. And I don't really have anything, from a prospect perspective to trade out. Because what I was thinking of doing is we could trade Yemlin again and try to boost our defense. And now Dale Weiss, Hjalmarsson out. I'm just going to sim it. I don't even care anymore. I can't make these changes. I can't keep making these changes. I mean, at this point, maybe it's just best to just go best lines. Forget about where I want certain people to play. Maybe we just need to go best lines. This team is not working out right now. It's not working out for this team. The injuries are guttural. We keep losing bodies. And when we're already missing a key player like Kamayev, and then you have an injury, and there's another one with Lievo going down. Hjalmarsson is a 6-week injury. I just can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. This is just not the year to. This is just not the year to miss the playoffs and to have this kind of a struggle. Just not the year to do it. Duchesne is carrying the team. He's got 20 goals now. Just past the new year. We won 7-3 over Florida, so something is working there. I don't care about trade proposals right now. And honestly, should we just sell? Should we trade Yemelin for a draft pick if we're not going to make the play? I'm thinking of just trading out a couple of players and getting some draft capital back because this is not working. You know what? Best lines. Full line changes. Best lines. Let's try it. I'm trying best lines. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know where this team is at, and maybe this works out better, that we just go best lines. I mean, we beat the Blues, so 4-1 win over the Blues, a 5-1 win over... Thank you. You know what? Can I upgrade the med staff because of that? Can I go ahead and... No, I cannot upgrade the med staff. It cost me 1,000 points. See, maybe I know what I'm doing. A couple of wins there since I went best lines. I'm at a loss for words for where this team is at right now. And we won 2-0 over the Stars. Best lines it is. The assistant coach knows better than I do. So, who knows? I don't know. I don't know how to get this team to go in the right direction. Lance Boma on waivers. We're going to pass on that in a 5-2 win over the Sharks. There you go. I've solved the problem for the team now. Kamayev soon to return in less than a week. I'm going to just go best lines for that one as well. I'll take a peek at what the lines are because I am curious what the assistant coach has done with it. But I mean, it's crazy. This team's winning games. We're on a win streak. Is that even allowed? Are we even allowed to have... Look at this. We're on a win streak now going to the All-Star break. What a time for Kamayev to have an injury right at the All-Star break. And we're on a huge win streak. Assistant coach best lines with Kamayev coming back before the All-Star break. I'm going to take a look at those lines before we resume simulation after the All-Star game. So we're just going to look at the East because we're only concerned about the East All-Stars. I want to make this quick. Ovi, Kadri, Giroux on the first line. Drouin, Tavares, and Rick Nash. Second line, Skinner, Innes, Sedin, Lucic, Turris, Kovalchuk. So who is the Habs representative? I'm going to guess, is it going to be Carey Price? Kulikov, Letang, Johnson, Subban. Subban makes the All-Star game. Conn Smythe winner, two-time and an All-Star. I don't know how many times he's made the All-Star game in this GM mode. And your third pair is Smith and Ehrhoff. Goalies, Carey Price and Satcher. So there you go. Carey Price did represent the Habs in the All-Star game. Okay, so what has the assistant coach cooked up here with these lines? This is so cruel. Su Kai Ming on the fourth line, but it seems to be working. But that's cruel. I'm going to change that because that's just not fair to Su Kai Ming. So this is what the assistant coach thinks best line should be. Kamayev on the second line or on the first line, right wing is a choice. Ming on the fourth line is a choice, but okay. We're going to go with it. Defensively, they think Babchuk shouldn't be playing. It's working, so I'm not gonna question it. The power play looks like this. No Su Kai Ming on the power play. I'm gonna change that. He can play the point on the power play. No Ming here. These are some weird groupings here. Ming is a penalty killer, and this weird shootout lineup that has Tamurnis in it as well. And how about that for Matt Duchesne? 22 points, pretty much exactly halfway through the season. I mean, could we be looking at a potential Matt Duchesne 40-goal season? Have I just jinxed it by bringing that up? There's a win, and Simon Hjalmarsson just immediately went down with an injury for 3 weeks. First game out of the All-Star break. I mean, you couldn't write it. You couldn't script it. But we got to win. We got 2 points in that game. That's the important part for me. Getting 2 points, and that's the end of the winning streak that we had going into the All-Star break. We dropped it to the LA Kings. Nevertheless, continue the simulation, and we will try to play. We need to play way better than 500 hockey in the back half of the season. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name Zerzinski. Well, I lied. I tried to pronounce the name Zerzinski. Just it's an interesting one. I'll look at the player info just so it's in the video. But yeah, just gonna pass on that. Love the last name though. Could be an interesting, waiver claim based on the last name. The 14-30-4 Edmonton Oilers. My God, they need McDavid. Morin. Oh, I have a first-round pick. I'm going to look at this player. I'm going to look at the player more, and he's a left wing, and he's got 3.5 star potential. He is an 84 overall right now. Look at the categories, though. I mean, look at that. 4.5 star skating, 4.5 star physical, 4-star D. Jeremy Morin could be a tempting one. 2009 draft pick by the Atlanta Thrashers. That's what he's done in 247 career games. What's he done this season? Let's look at his stats. I mean, it's just, no, it's not, to me, a first and a second round pick for that. No, I need to be getting something more back than that. I do think I need more back, so I'm going to leave that trade off for Chicago. Oh, no. Oh, no. PK Subban is down for an undetermined amount of time now. Well, that's it. There goes the season. If he's gone for a while, that's possibly the season done right there. Stick a fork in it. Might want to hold on to those draft picks. I'm thinking if we can make that push and we need it, I might move one of those draft picks to acquire a player that maybe someone's giving away as we get closer to the deadline. Pass on Spencer Humphreys. Man, it's taken a while to sim this past the Coyotes we lost, but Subban is only 5 days out. Just got to get through these games, get through these days. With a game coming up against the Ottawa Senators. No Subban, 6-4 loss. Now we get Subban back. Subban back in the lineup before we play the Stars. Butler went down with an injury in the game to the Senators, a scouting assignment. I have a tough predicament. I mean, do I move out my draft picks or a draft pick? We're getting closer and closer to the deadline. The team's in an interesting position. We did beat the Stars 3-2. I mean, I'd like to see us go on a run, and I'll tell you, Duchesne has cooled off on the goal scoring front. He has 23 goals. We have simmed quite a bit past the All-Star game and the All-Star break. And Pacioretty now leads the team in goals. I am going to be curious. Now I gotta edit lines again as we do best lines. If we win against Tampa Bay, maybe I should just leave the lines alone. And we did. I moved Ming around. I wanted to give Ming more ice time, but maybe this just works. The way having Ming on the fourth line and no power play time, maybe it's just better that way. It'll be better for Ming when his overall rating goes up, because his overall rating is not the highest, and I think that's why the assistant coach isn't prioritizing him. Or I don't know why the assistant coach does not prioritize having Su Kai Ming get more ice time, play on the power play, the man advantage, put him on the fourth line. And now Pacioretty is down with an injury. Man, this is crazy. Oy, it's a bevy of injuries. Pacioretty is now gone. Undetermined amount of time for Pacioretty for right now. No Kamaya for 3 weeks. No Butler for 5 weeks. Butler's a defenseman. So we're getting beat up on all sides of the puck right now. Big win over the Islanders. 4-3 victory there. Got the Anaheim Ducks coming up 31-24-4. It's not a terrible place to be. I'm curious about the standings, because now that we're getting toward the end of February, we're going to have to start creeping in on what the standings look like. That'll be Pacioretty back. Okay, Pacioretty back. He wasn't gone for long, and that's good because that's our leading goal scorer back in the lineup. Facing that struggling Oilers team, they've fixed their struggles a little bit as they beat us 4-3 there. Pacioretty is technically, it's a 2-day injury. He's playing through a playable one. And then we're gonna get to the deadline, and I got decisions to make. Gonna pass on Scarbosa, whatever the name was. Playing the Minnesota Wild on the road. It's a win, 4-2. Win is the deadline. Man, I'm gonna have to peruse everybody's trade block and see what might make sense for the team. Pacioretty, surefire 30 goal scorer, unless something happens to him. Or he just cools off. Not necessarily that he's going to get injured again. All right, so we're up to the game against the Ducks. This is a good time to just take a pause, and let's look at a variety of things. Let's start with this. We got this table in front of us. Carey Price leads the league with wins. Okay, points going to Ennis. Ennis is carrying the Buffalo Sabres. They're having another incredible season there in Buffalo. Assist leader Mark Scheifele. Ennis with the goal-scoring lead. Pacioretty's in that conversation with 28 goals. He's in that conversation. The division standings look like this. So right now, we do occupy a playoff spot, but barely. I got to make the team better. We got to make the team better. This is the way the West looks right now. So there's your standings. Let's go look at other teams' trade blocks. Okay, so Anaheim giving away Brad Boyes, a 35-year-old, and Colby Armstrong. Oh, Colby Armstrong. I know who that is. Colby Armstrong and Brad Boyes. Nope. Boston giving away Seidenberg, but look at the value on Seidenberg. How many years left? 1 year left. So there's a year left on these guys. I'm guessing this is Andrew Shaw. That would be a fun one to take a crack at. And we know Boston's rebuilding. They're having a terrible season. Caron, from the Flames GM mode, we acquired him from Boston or whatever we did. And is this Rene Bourque? They put Rene Bourque on the trade block. It's the end of Rene Bourque's career. We sent Bourque to the Boston Bruins, and look at who it is, Paul Bissonnette, on the trade block for the Bruins. So we may revisit the Boston Bruins trade block. Ales Hemsky for 1 season, maybe? Yeah, we could do Ales Hemsky. Okay, I did peruse the trade blocks. I'm thinking of doing this. We got, how old is he now? Is he 35, 34-year-old? He's dropping off, but they got Ales Hemsky on the block. He's at the end of his career. This is an easy one. He's got 1 year left. And if we get Edmonton to retain, now here's the trade value between the two. So without retention, I mean, the value's close, but a first is a little bit of an overpayment. But if I get Edmonton to retain 50%, that would allow this to clear, and we could take on Hemsky. And, I mean, we could give Hemsky a chance to kind of ride out into the sunset, maybe as a Stanley Cup champion. I believe Hemsky at one point in his career did play with the Habs, and you can see we barely have any cap space available. And if I have to send a player on waivers and lose a player on waivers, having Hemsky here, yes, he is an aging player at the end of his career, but it would make it a little less painful even if I have to send someone down and they get claimed on waivers. So I'm going to try to make this trade. Does Edmonton agree to a first-round pick for this year for Ales Hemsky? I think it's worth it, and Edmonton likes it. And it is a done deal. So there you go. I add Hemsky. Look at this. I'm operating at literally no cap space. Literally operating at no cap space. Got some new toys to play with Ales Hemsky. How does that help the team on the stretch to the end of the season, past the deadline? Don't worry, we'll take a look at all the transactions that took place throughout the deadline. Outside of that one move, that was the only thing that appealed to me in terms of a trade deadline move in play for us. One game in advance past Vancouver. Then we can take a look at all the transactions from the deadline. For now, we're going to just skip past deadline day negotiations, playing at home against Vancouver on deadline day. It is a win, a 2-1 win over the Canucks. LeBlanc just went down with an injury. Great. So transaction news. Yeah, we placed Weiss on waivers, and he didn't get claimed. Well, there were some moves. On deadline day. Andrew Shaw, I was looking at Shaw as a potential target from Boston. He goes to Nashville. They get back Gauthier, Teterenko, and a first-round pick from the Boston Bruins. Or the Boston Bruins get that from Nashville, rather, to acquire Shaw. We obviously acquired Hemsky a couple days before deadline day from Edmonton, and I believe that's all the trades that went down on deadline day. Before that, a day before the Hemsky trade, Palat goes to Nashville from Tampa Bay, and they acquired the goaltender Curtis Honey, sweetness in the net. He goes to Tampa Bay from Nashville there. Interesting development happening. Nicholas Kronwall, so a lot of pre-deadline day trades. Not a very eventful deadline day. I know that Trade Center was enjoying this one. Nick Kronwall goes to Florida, so get Kronwall if you're going to play against Florida now. Nick Ehlers and Rhys Miller to Chicago from Washington. They get Garrett Klotz in return. That was a February trade. And Shaw was acquired along with the guy that I couldn't pronounce his name from Chicago back in February. So it didn't take long for the Bruins to trade Shaw back the other way as he ends up in Nashville. That was a quick trade deadline summary. I wasn't expecting such a short summary for deadline day, but I'm more than happy with it. And oh boy, Kyle Beach. We all know the story. I'm not going to go over it too much because it's pretty grim, but everybody knows the Kyle Beach story. He's on waivers from the Nashville Predators. And we lose 2-1. LeBlanc is a 4-day injury. We're just going to bite our tongue through that one. I don't even know who got in there. I'm going to have to make some line changes when he gets back healthy, but it'll be as easy as a scratch and a insert. Oh, we have Babchuk playing center. That's great. Okay, LeBlanc back. That was actually a pretty easy, quick changes. There was a bunch of lines that needed to be changed, but it was quicker than I thought it would be. Pacioretty not quite at 30 yet. Not quite getting to 30 goals. I don't know if he can do it. Kamayev will be returning soon as well, so that's another player that we'll get back from what was a very long injury for him right at the end of the season. And I got to pay attention to the standings too. I can't, we're losing games as well. We really need to be paying attention to what's going on in the standings shortly, because if we do fall out of playoff contention, I'm going to be so pissed off because then we traded for Hemsky. I could have had that first-round pick, but at this point, I think it'll be a late first-round pick. It really doesn't hurt me, and this is a good time to actually get Kamayev back as we're losing games. Are we in it? Are we in the play? No, we're not in the playoffs right now. Detroit and New Jersey have the wild card spots. Man, this is going to be a tight race, possibly down to the last games of the season. All right, I've given Ming all the ice time. I've given him all the even strength time. I've given him the power play penalty. I've given him everything. PK, power play situations, all moments. If we're going to make it into the playoffs, it's now or never. It's time for Su Kai Ming and this team to just show up. I don't care about the best line stuff anymore. We're playing Philadelphia at home. Let's not get absolutely twisted in knots trying to make this postseason run. Tom Murnis goes down with an injury. He would. I'm trying to make a playoff run game. We're gonna have to hope we can just go sliding across the finish line into the postseason. I don't even know if this team can do it. Pacioretty has got to get hot. The whole team just needs to get hot. There's another win. Butler, that's a tough one. Didn't we just lose? Yeah, Babchuk's in there. I'm gonna keep Butler out for right now. Tamurnis is down with an injury. I'm just gonna keep Butler out for right now. I mean, Butler's he was supposed to be my 7th defenseman, and Su Kai Ming's down with an injury. Oh, great. This game is so cruel at the worst possible time in the season. Now Babchuk's out with an injury. Oh, brother. How long is it for Su Kai Ming? I can't claim Morrow off waivers. I don't even know that I have cap space for that. But Ming is back, running the gauntlet in terms of the teams, the games, and the injuries, all the way to this game against the Maple Leafs on the road on April 14. I mean, that is the deadline to get into the postseason. It's like 3 weeks worth of games. We're missing a couple of guys. Termurnis is a longer injury than I was expecting, 8 weeks. Babchuk we're waiting to hear back on. Su Kai Ming is coming. He's back from his injury. I'm stressing to the end of the season. We and Philadelphia have the same record, and we lose to the Flyers in that pivotal game against an Eastern Conference foe. The next 2 games, we're going to sim. Take a look at the standings. Pacioretty hit 31, man. A 40-goal season would be amazing. Babchuk is back now. I'm just going to keep Babchuk out because someone's going to get hurt at some point. I'm just going to keep it the way it is because someone's going to get hurt on D anyway. Oh, we lost. Don't lose to Washington either. Get a win in here, please, if we lose. Matt Duchene is gone with an injury as well. Man, we are not going to make the playoffs right now. Come on, game. I need this. We need this. We need a run, and we have no Duchene. That's the worst feeling. No Matt Duchene. I stopped the sim. I don't know who's playing my first line center spot. Okay, I do. I'm all good at center. Okay. Man, was Ales Hemsky the move? Was Hemsky the right move for this team? I don't think we're going to make the postseason. I'm a little nervous. I don't think we're going to make the postseason. I'm really nervous that we're not going to have... We've got to win games. I need Carey Price to come through for this team is not making it. Duchene's gone for 3 weeks. Ming, you're going to be first line center. You're going to play with LeBlanc. This is my last chance to try this. A few more changes, man. I moved. Ming's getting first line center trial with no Matt Duchene. I mean, we've got nothing to lose except for the season is pretty much a wash at this point. I don't think we're going to make it unless we just win every game. We got to win out. We got to win out. And against Ottawa, it's a loss. We got to in overtime or shootout. We got a point, but that could be the nail in the coffin right there. Trying LeBlanc and Ming on the first line to end the season. Might as well give it our best shot, but I think this team is done for. Oh, there's a win over the Leafs with the last 4 games to go in the season. We'll sim it out one game at a time, look at the standings, and stress ourselves out unnecessarily here. Ming grew, though. He's up to an 84 overall now, so he's a better player. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I'm confident in our chances to make it. We lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah. I mean, we could, well, you know what? New Jersey has 90 points. They're in the wild card. We need New Jersey to lose, and we need to claim. We have 3 games left. That's 6 points. We need all 6 points, and we need a miracle to get in. So at this point, we just sim. It is what it is. I don't think we're going to make it. I don't think we're going to make the postseason. I didn't pay attention to the division standings. If we could catch a top 3 spot in the division. Yeah, and I traded my first round pick, man. Let's take a look at the division standings. 5 points. We could catch the Leafs. I mean, I think all hope is lost, basically, with this team making it. I don't think we're going to make it. First game up against the Tampa Bay Lightning. First one on deck. And if it's a loss, you can count the series. It's a win. There's a win over Tampa Bay. Now what does it look like? Oh, don't tease me like this. The Leafs are suddenly not so catchable, are they? Do you think we can make it? I mean, I'm just going to sim out. I don't think we're going to make it. I don't think we're going to make it. If we win out, though, I'm going to be so pissed if we win out from here on in. Ottawa Senators. At home, we lose 3-2. Stick a fork in us. We're done. Season's over. It is definitely over. The gamble for Ales Hemsky did not work out. We will not make the postseason. Yeah, I don't care that Paul Gaustad's on waivers. Finish the season on the road. At least beat the Leafs to go out on some kind of a high note. And we did beat the Leafs. Where does that put us? 89 points. Yeah, just too far out. We missed the playoffs, obviously. Looks like, was it Washington and Philly that got the wild card spots? I didn't pay attention to the points, but it doesn't matter to me. The season has ended. Yeah, I know. It a very disappointing year. And as coming into it as defending Stanley Cup champions, extremely disappointing year. But we'll take a look in a couple of days at the playoff tree once we get into the actual playoffs, which we will not be taking part in, obviously. But a 40-win season is not necessarily unsuccessful, but missing the playoffs is by far and large the bigger picture in this story. So the teams that made it in, it looks like it'll be Phoenix, San Jose, Calgary, LA, Nashville, Vancouver, Minnesota, Winnipeg. Won't have to travel very far in that Minnesota-Winnipeg series between games. At least in the West, and in the East, it'll be Buffalo, Washington, Florida, Toronto, Carolina, Philly, Columbus, and New Jersey. We'll see how it all plays out, and then we'll get into the offseason in the next episode. Got a lot to look back. You know what? Let's first look at the stats. We've got a lot to look back on. Let's look at the player stats. Okay, leading point getters, 69 points in 80 games. Max Pacioretty, 38-goal year for Max. He had a year. He produced this season. I mean, he's a stud for this team. Look at the point production compared to the previous seasons. 80 games played, 38 goals, a career high for him. 69 points, I think, is a career high, a plus 29. I mean, he was not the problem. 15 power play goals for Max Pacioretty. You can see the improvement, and of course, his postseason stats from last year in 20 games. Matt Duchene missed a chunk of the end of the season with an injury, but he was running hot for a while. Finished with a 65-point season, 25 goals in 73, plus 24, 6 power play goals. And you can compare, of course, all these stats to his previous 3 seasons here below that, and the playoff stats from last year in 20 games. And then Su Kai Ming grew to an 84 from an 83, so he's definitely enjoyed his time here in Montreal. He had a 28-goal year in 80 games played, 61-point season, so that's another growth right there for us there. Plus 15 rating, 10 power play goals. And I wanted to look at his stats in the playoffs as well. Su Kai Ming in 19 games 18 points, 7 goals in 19, or whatever he played, 19 games last year. Louis LeBlanc, another opportunity to grow for him. And wow, LeBlanc's been playing in the NHL for this long with us. That's right, he was here before Su Kai Ming. I think he played that one season. He missed a chunk of time last year, 55 games the previous season, but this year, 56-point season, 22 goals. That matches basically his output in 15-16 in 82 games. 1 point better, matched his goal total, had 7 on the power play in this season. And of course, his postseason stats from last year with a 18 games, 14.8 goal performance. Lars Eller continues to be a engine on that bottom to middle six-ish part of the lineup. 44 points in 82 games, 19 goals, a -8, 6 power play goals, and his playoff stats from last year's playoff run. Brad Marchand and his stats from this year, 44 points, 15 goals in 82. Split a lot of time between first line and second line this year just due to best lines. And there's the playoff stats for Marchand. Hedman, his contributions to the team this year, 44 points. He's just a consistent guy. He's just really, really consistent on the blue line. And we're more concerned with his defensive efforts. PK Subban, reigning Conn Smythe Trophy winner from the previous season. 80 games played this year, 37 points, 8 goals, not bad. Just, again, another guy that is a mark of consistency on the blue line for this team. His playoff stats from last year on the way to that Conn Smythe, his second Conn Smythe Trophy of his career. Henrik Termernis played the full 60 games. He didn't play all 82. He missed a lot of time with injuries, but still racked up 35 points and 5 goals. One of those coming on the power play. His playoff stats from last year in 20 games with us. He was acquired ahead of that playoff run last season from the Vancouver Canucks. Might I remind you one more time, Hemsky, our trade deadline acquisition. I don't know what he did for the team after the acquisition because I forgot to look at the stats for Hemsky, but there's Hemsky's stats on the season. Again, 1 year left on that deal at a reasonable cap hit. I don't think we'll be bringing him back, but I thought I'd take a shot at Hemsky, see if it could boost the team a little bit. Brendan Gallagher, 82 games played, 26 points, bottom 6 to middle 6 role for the team this year. There's his stats from last year's playoff run as well. Kamayev in 47 games, missed a lot of time, still got 20 points on the board, and his playoff stats from last year. Lievo, new face and new addition to the team, 76 games played, just a bottom 6 guy. Jalmerson, bottom 6 guy, again, had 1 goal in 62 games this year. Wow, 1 goal. How much left on that deal? Yeah, may or may not bring him back next season. He did play on that playoff run and contributed 6 goals on that playoff run. Johnny Boychuk's season, 15 points in 76 games. No power play goals. That's his playoff stats right here. He played 11 games in the playoffs. That's right, because did he get injured? I think he missed the first couple rounds. Yamelin, his season, what kind of year did he have? Yeah, I mean, nothing really good or bad here. Nothing really noticeable. There 9 points in 20 playoff games in the playoff run last year. Greening was a part of the Stanley Cup team as well. We mostly brought back as much of the Stanley Cup team as we could. 1 power play goal for Greening. 20 games played in that playoff run. Morgan Ellis, new face to the team. So Morgan Ellis, quick little snapshot of the stats. Ryan White, we're familiar with him, especially from the Season 1 playoffs. Just an easy AHL depth guy. Ended up playing a chunk of NHL time this year. Chris Butler in 41 games. Yeah, I think it was a 1-year deal. Yeah, 1-year deal. Can easily move on from that player. Just a depth option. He was supposed to be my 7th D. Anton Babchuk, 6 points in 45 games at liability on the blue line. And he played in Game 7. That's right, he played Game 7 against the Avalanche. That was the one game he came back healthy for. Dale Weiss in 40 games. Depth option kind of guy. Played 5 games in that playoff run. And that's it for all the skaters. Now, what about Carey Price? And Brian Elliott as well, but mostly Carey Price. 2.29 and a 92.61. I mean, you can't complain with Price. Mark of consistency in the net because I think he just does it every season. He pretty much does it. He does it every year, man. I mean, this is just what Carey Price does. Most minutes he has seen, maybe in his career, 4,091 minutes for Price this season with a 926. That's right there with what he did last season. And, of course, Price's playoff stats from the 20 games played. I mean, you could easily... No, never mind. I thought he had better stats than this. 909 and a 2.91 GAA in the playoff run. So he did not quite have his name in the hat for the running of the Conn Smythe. Elliott was, I think, a one-year deal. Yeah, so we may not run it back with Elliott next season. I mean, I just need a goaltender that can play some games in relief of Carey Price here and there. In the Art Ross Trophy this year, it looks like it's going to go to Daniel Sedin with the Columbus Blue Jackets. He had a 97-point season in 82 games, 39 goals. Ennis had 39. Druin cracked 40, so who won it? It was Druin. He was the only one that cracked 40. He had a 44-goal, 85-point season with those Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, he's a stud. So, sorted by... I guess we'll sort this by goals, and I'm just going to... Let's sort this by points, because you can see the goals in this column as I scroll down. You can see who did what, but... I'm curious to see, where guys like, I'm just going to scroll through. You can pause if you see any names that you like. I'm curious mostly about the notable ones like Patrick Kane. There's Kane and Crosby. I want to see what Crosby did. There's Pacioretty. I mean, his name is right there with some of these other guys. Crosby, 69-point, 21-goal season. How does that compare to his previous couple seasons? AHL, he played one in the A? What? Why did Crosby go down to the A? He went down to the A. He had 3 assists in one game. What was that all about? What in the world, Pittsburgh? Their AHL affiliate needed some help. Conditioning stint, maybe. I don't even know. A 30-year-old Crosby. So anyway, yeah, I mean, it's the same totals that he's been putting up throughout each season in this GM mode. By the way, Connor McDavid is going to be somewhere down this list, I would assume, at some point. I want to find out what McDavid did. Su Kai Ming, he's in there. He's in amongst the conversation. There's Connor McDavid with the Vancouver Canucks. He had a 20-goal, 58-point season. Is this his first full season in the league? There you go. So his rookie season stats. And this is a Vancouver team, by the way, that has... He might be in the A. There he is. Axel Arneson got 8 games. Gave this guy 8 freaking games in the NHL. He's played only 83 career games, 8 goals. I mean, the guy is a stud. 1 year left, RFA status. What does Vancouver do with him? I'm going to assume Vancouver's going to want to bring him back. Where was the size? What's the size on the player? 6'8", 216. And, of course, we got Calgary. We got the created Johnny Gaudreau that I created for the game. Let's see what he did in, I don't know how many seasons he's played by now, but a 53-point, 18-goal year. This is a bit of a down year, but 73 games played for Gaudreau. So there's Johnny Gaudreau at this point in his career. He's 84 overall, just kind of slowly growing it. Did the Flames make the playoffs? I don't even remember if the Flames made the playoffs, but he's slowly getting there. I keep forgetting to check out Galchenyuk, but this is Galchenyuk's seasons. 26 goals. I mean, he's a mark of consistency as well. Just putting up goals and points for the Avalanche. And this is his playoff run. He had a 24.9 goal playoff run last year when we met them in the final. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this video. We will find out the Stanley Cup champion, get through the offseason, all in the next one. This has been a long recording session and a long enough video for me. We will unfortunately see you in the next video, which will be the offseason. We did not make the playoffs. I don't know how many seasons this is going to go, but obviously season 5, a huge disappointment.